Good day. I'm Leslie Pelgaposan and today I am going to report about the APA style and proper referencing. What is APA style? APA stands for American Psychological Association and it is a citation style is most commonly used format for the manuscripts in the social sciences like psychology, anthropology, sociology, as well as education and including the fields of nursing and medicine. APA is a style of formal writing, especially for publication. The rules of APA is outlined in the publication manual of American Psychological Association 6th edition. So the next slides are the following guides. So the university policy mandates the use of APA style defined by this referencing guide. And on this presentation, I will discuss to you the list of reference, how to cite references, and other informations. List of references. So the reference list includes only the sources you have used in any submission. So the reference list begins a new page with a centered heading References. Double space all the reference list and the reference list should be indented half an inch or 5 to 7 spaces. On the second and subsequent lines of the reference list of every entry, arrange the entries in alphabetical order by the surname of the author. If there is no author, the title will move in the author's position. The states and territories are abbreviated in the location section of the publication information. For example, the United States, it is abbreviated as US and New York to NY. So, these are the reference list examples. The book, printed and online, the journal and newspaper articles, web document and sites, and other electronic media. So first is the books, printed and online. So this is the general forms on how you cite your references when DOIs are assigned. So DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier. So the first general form is author, followed by the year, title of work, and the DOI. The second one is the author, the year, title of work, and the location and publisher. When you cite your reference in the book online, the general form is author, the year, the title of work, and the retrieve from, which is the link of the book. So these are the examples on how you cite your references using the books online. So this is how you cite your reference when the DOI is available, and if the DOI is not available, then use the URL, which is the link of the book, Then sometimes database information may be given for books or the monographs. Also, another thing is that aside from using the retrieve from, you can also use the available from to cite your sources. Another example is that when your sources or the book you used online has up to 7 authors, then you list the 7 authors and then their title of work, the location, and the publisher. Another one is that when your sources has more than 7 authors, list the first 6 authors and then the last author. In MTeX, you will write the first author and then et al. Et al means there are a lot of authors or more than 7 authors in that particular title of the book. So the next one is that when your idea is coming from an article or a chapter in an edited books or an encyclopedia, this is the general form on how are you going to cite your references. So the author, the year, and the title of the chapter, and then you will include the name of the editors, then enclose the eds if there are 2 or more editors. Ed stands for the editors, and then followed by the title of book. Then you enclose the pages of that chapter, then followed by the location and the publisher. So the following are the examples on how you cite the chapter on unedited books. So the next one is, if there is no author and no editor, move the title to that position, as the example shows below. And the next one is, instead of writing the author on the first part, you will write the author on the last part and make it as the publisher. The next is the group authors. When citing your reference with group authors, use the full official names of group authors such as associations or government agencies. So the following are the examples on how you cite your references with group authors. So the next one is the translator and illustrator. So when citing your reference with a title that has illustrator and translator, you will write first the name of the author, the year, the title, then followed by the illustrator or translator's name.
Good day, ma'am. I am Ferdinand D. Carpis Jr. and this is my report, journal, and newspaper article. Journal articles are shorter than books and written about very specific topics, and it is a collection of articles like magazine throughout the year. Journal present the most recent research, and journal articles are written by expert for expert, and they may be published in print or online formats or both. In general forms, when the UIs are assigned, use them. So, last name of the author, initial of name of the author, and if there are 2 or more author are there, so you can use the ampersand and year, that article title, that then journal title, comma, volume number or and issue number, comma, and the last is the page, and now page numbers, and the last is the DOI. So in the second example is same lang gyapon siya og format, but nalang siya retrieve from http://www.xx. And next is journal articles with a DOI. So DOI is digital object identifier. It will help your reader easily to locate and a document from your citation, and persistent unique locators created so that the object can always be found on the web. And all DOIs have a standard format starting with the number 10 and containing a forward slash. So when a DOI is available, no further retrieval information is needed to locate the content. So example, Ranford/M.2001. Aesthetic and religious awareness among pupils, similarities and differences. British Journal of Music Education, volume 18, issue 2, and page 151 to 159. So, and the last is our DOI. So start from 10.10.17, then slash. And next is online journal articles without a DOI. If no DOI is assigned, keep the URL of the journal homepage if the article is available. And example is Vogue G 2010, a blend in service arrangement for supporting science teachers in technology orientation. Journal of Technology and Teacher Education, volume 18.1, page 83 to 109. So retrieve from http://www.edit.org/g/tate. So same format lang siya, but ang difference is lang siya di lang DOI yung ginagamit. It is retrieval information from the URL. And next is if you are unable to locate the DOI, use the URL for the journal's entry search page within the database. So same lang siya sa tong isa ka example ganina. If we have if wala tayo DOI. So example, Powell A, D.A, and the 1990 home-based intervention of preschoolers with emotional disturbance and autism, preventing school failure, 34, volume, issue 4, and page 41 to 45. So retrieve from http://web.ebcohost.com. So di na to job ng kalimtan ang atong to siya gikuha sa atong retrieval. So in online newspaper articles, give the URL of the homepage. So same format lang hapon siya atong online newspaper article. Nakauna ang last name, next is initial, followed by the date and title and journal title and retrieval. So example, Machamon, is the 2010, July 19, found New Victorian Era, Herald Sun, retrieved from http://www.heraldsun.com.au. In newspaper articles from a database, If the article is not available from the newspaper home search page, give the URL of the database entry/search page and include the page number if available. So kung ang newspaper na to isikan sa academic research database, provide the title of the newspaper and any volume, issue, or page numbers that are available for the article, and do not include database information in the reference. If kung article does not have an volume, issue, or page number available, then the reference in this case ends with the title of the newspaper. So the example is Susskind A 1986 September 2 that academic blast for English class text that Sydney Morning Herald. So 1 yan atong retrieval from http://global.factiva.com and so on. So in print articles without a DOI, so print journal is any journal that is available in printed form, so a physically item that you can hold like a magazine. So example is Colhart M Pryo M 2006 that learning to read in Australia that Australian Journal of Learning Disabilities, 11/4 volume and page 157 to 164. In a magazine or a newsletter does not use volume numbers, include the month, season, or other designation with a year. So if we have a volume, so i-include nato ang state that include ang month, season, or the other designation with the year. So based on our example, Bimster M 2008 December that saving that Southern Bullfrog Australian Landcare, page 27 to 29. And for daily or weekly newspaper, include the day and precede the page number with the P or the print page. So example, Parker K 2008 December 3 that Playa for Languages that Cowrie Mail, print page 19 to 20. So and next is Mori E 2001 May 9 that Refugee Crisis, letter to the editor, that week in Australian, page 813. And next is up to 7 authors. So list all of the authors' names. So list by the last name and initial, separate author names, while the last author name is preceded again by the ampersand. So you consider based on our example, I have before the last author na siya ampersand, and then the year of publication dayon. And next is the more than 7 authors. So list the first 6 and then the last. So it means that list by the last name and initial, separate author names after the 6th author name, use an ellipsis in place of the author's name, and there should be no more than 7 names. So it means that before mag 7, so after 6 put nga ng ellipsis, then ayan din ang ka-7th and then year of publication na dayon. Next is reviews per commentary and abstract. To identify the type of medium being reviewed, in brackets in /, including author's name as required. If the details of the item being reviewed are clear from the title of the review, no additional explanatory material in brackets is needed. If the review is untitled, use the bracket information as the title. So based sa atong example dira, so ang naka-bracket lang is review of the book book William Golding by John Carey. So, muna itong naka-bracket. And the second is review of the book Against the Terror of the Neoliberalism, Politics Beyond the Age of Greed, and so on. And in the next is per commentary. Per commentaries are article written by others in your field about your paper. Unlike peer review paper, commentaries are written article publication in the scholarly journal. The purpose of this article is to add to the discussion of the topics rather than to critique or edit the paper. And commentaries can be useful as sources for your research as additional citation are added, or perhaps they can help you understand the original paper more clearly. An example of that is Ackerman, J.M. Ampersand per Berg, J.A. 2010, The Purpose-Driven Life. So, commentary on Kirk et al. 2010. That per commentary on the journal articles Renovating the Pyramid of Needs, Contemporary Extension Built Upon Ancient Foundation. Then that perspective on the psychological science, so volume 5 issue 3 page 323 to 320. And the last one is the abstract as an original source. So the abstract should be focused on your original research, that on the other works. The abstract should be contained in a fully understandable without referencing to the other sources. And there are some circumstances where you might needed to mention other sources in an abstract. For example, if your research responded directly to the other studies or focuses on the work of a single theorist. In general, don't include citation unless absolutely necessary. So example of this is Peder.e and Percent offer VD 2010 Planning and Organization of Teachers Continuous Professional Development in School in England. So that is abstract. That's Curriculum Journal, Volume 21, Issue 4, page 433, and the DOI number 10 that 1080/. And next is
Web documents and sites. As with any published reference, the goals of a citation to online material are to credit the author and to enable the reader to find the material. When citing the internet sources, observe the following guidelines. First is follow previous sections for format, author, date, and the title elements. Second, the date element should be indicated. Then include the retrieval dates and provide addresses that work where possible. When writing an entire website, it is sufficient to give the address of the site in the text only. Specific information from a site need to be cited as follows. Author and date known. The general form includes the retrieval date if the source material is likely to change over time. So its general form is author, year, the title of the work, the date or the retrieved month of that work, and then the link. So the following are the examples on how you cite your sources. On the other hand, if there is no author given, use the title of the work and replace it in the author's position, then followed by the year and the retrieved month day from the source. Other electronic media. So follow the previous sections for the format And the data element should indicate the year of publication, the title of work, retrieval or availability statement replaces the location, and the name of the publisher. Use available from when the URL leads to information on how to obtain the cited material. Also include the retrieval dates, where the source material is likely to change over time, like for example the wikis. See also the audio-visual section of this guide for some examples. So in thesis or dissertations, this is how you're going to cite your references in the retrieved information from the database. And the other one shows on how you're going to cite your sources when your reference is retrieved from an institutional or personal website. Encyclopedias, dictionaries, and annual reports were cited the same. Just give the home or index page URL for the reference work, or you will put it in the retrieve from. Next is the fact sheets, brochures, and press releases. Also, the presentation slides were cited the same. But here, you will indicate whether your sources is coming from the fact sheets, brochures, or the press releases. You will put it in the bracket next to the title. Next is the images. When referring to information gained from the images, you will cite your sources by writing the title of that image or the name of that image, the year, the link, or where did you get that image. So the next one is the message posted to new groups, online forums, discussion groups, or electronic mailing list. So this is how you're going to cite your reference. You will write the author's name, the year, month, and day, the title of that message, and where it came from, either in the news group or the online forums. You will put that inside the bracket, then followed by your URL. The next one is wikis, and its example is shown below. And then the audio podcast. When citing the audio podcast, you will write the author, the year, month, and day, and then the title of the audio. And that's the end of our report.